All right, I'll start out with the design. I know I want a square layout. So what I'm doing on the side here is just going over some of the main shapes. I've got a vase, I've got a tabletop that's fairly round. I've got a little saucer, a coffee cup, and that's it. So from there, I can start to place those things within those squares. I want the tabletop to sort of take up the foreground, little saucer on the left, and then the vase with flowers. But do I want those flowers to be shown? In other words, do I want to see the tops of the flowers? Or do I want those flowers to kind of go beyond the top? So, also shifted the table to the right a little bit, in each one so that I at least have a good visual of, again, where I want to go with it. And then from there, once you know what sort of design you want, it becomes a lot easier in the final process. So here, I'm just knocking back some of that white paper. I'll put the paint down fairly thick. Colors are really irrelevant here. I did choose some neutrals and some blues just because I know the paint is going to be a very warm palette. So I thought the blues would give me a nice little start. And then from there, I'll start to lay in just the big shapes. That's it. So the tabletop, the saucer, and the vase. And then everything else doesn't really need to be included because the more information you put in the drawing, the more opportunities or chances you have of tightening up later on. So again, just the large shapes. Now these colors look really intense and saturated, but they're not. You have to remember that acrylics are always going to dry a little bit darker and less saturated, especially this first layer. I'm painting on Bristol paper, and canvas will do the same thing. Canvas and paper, they're going to absorb some of that intensity. They're going to sponge it up, and then also just the nature of acrylic paint is to dry a little bit darker. So don't worry about this first layer too much. I would recommend not going after the color you want in the final piece. Always desaturate your colors, knock them back a little bit with some grays, which is what I did. And then that way, when you start to add the second and third layers, you have a little bit of wiggle room to work with. I think oftentimes beginners will put this first layer down and they'll try to mix the perfect color that they want in the final piece. And then we want to put more layers on it. You're not really doing anything because you have nowhere else to go. So if you start a little bit lighter, a little bit darker in value, if you start less saturated, which is what I did, then you give yourself an opportunity to add more layers later on that are more meaningful versus trying to put the same color on top of the same color, if that makes sense. So here you can see I'm starting with that second layer. And the colors are more saturated now. So I have less grays in it. And I'm using more pure color, but they're not 100% pure because I want to leave that opportunity for more pure color later on. So I'm always trying to leave a little something there in case I need it. So you're better off to do that than you are to use the exact color than you have. Again, you have nowhere else to go. All right, so enough of that. So at this point, I'm just using my fan brush, and actually, other than the layout drawing, to this point, I've used nothing but the fan brush. And the fan brush is a wonderful, I think, underrated brush because it can do so much. You can use the sides of it to create some thin strokes like I'm doing now. You can use the broad side if you want to lay down a larger area of painting, or paint rather. So it can really do a lot with a fan brush. I'd highly recommend, if you want to get loose and you want to kind of just get in the studio and try something different, get away from traditional stuff, then get yourself a medium or large fan brush and paint some with it, and you'll find that your paintings start to look a little bit different, and your brush work, because you can't control it like a round or a flat, things like that. So it tends to give you a few different results that you don't often see in your work. At this point, I'm going to use my small liner / signature brush adding a few details, a few stems. And this painting was done with those two brushes. So the fan brush, the signature brush, and then this little flat brush here. This is just a medium size flat. And all I'm doing there is just using negative space to carve out the flowers and just sort of those angular choppy strokes. And that's it. At this point, I'm pretty much working on the third layer. So the third layer is all about adding interesting brushwork, maybe capturing a few shapes that were lost in the painting. So you'll see I added a little circular shape for the saucer. I'm adding a handle and things like that. If the background is too intense and it's competing with the subject, I may add a little bit more of a gray hue to the background, carve out some edges on the flower. And here I'm going into the stars, which are the flowers. So I'm going in there with more pure color, kind of getting that little slash of a brush stroke and letting that brush stroke be a part of the painting. I think another mistake many artists make is they just blend their strokes to death, and then the painting just looks so overworked when it's done. All right, now look at the little bit of blue I added on the tabletop. That helps balance out some of those warm hues. So a little touch of cool colors will go a long way when you're doing a dominant warm palette. You want to have a little bit in there. If you have a dominant cool palette, you want a little bit of warm in there. So let's have a look at a close-up of the final piece so you can appreciate the textures. Here's the image, which was taken in natural light. So there it is. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.